guys, it's Kyrae and welcome to part 3 of my Drawing Shopkin series. Today I will be finishing the Ice Cream Dream Shopkin. If you would like to see me do the Apple Blossom video, you can watch that here. So right now I am just going in with my mechanical pencil. I really liked the outline that I did with the first drawing, so I wanted to incorporate that in this one. And doing this Shopkin is probably my favorite of the three, just because I really like desserts and sweet things, and this was really fun to draw originally. This was actually the first Shopkin I drew, and then I drew the other two on a whim on a different day. If you want to know what colors of Copic markers I'm using, those will be linked down in the description below. But for now, I am just outlining the drawing, and if you notice, I changed my setup a little bit. So instead of using my really big computer desk, I actually grabbed one of our little like dinner tray stands from downstairs, and I picked the worst one. Actually, I think they all do this, but it's kind of wobbly. So if the screen like wiggles a little bit, it's because the table is wobbling. And I zoomed the camera in so you can get a better view of the drawing. During these small pauses, I was looking at the reference photo because I wanted to make sure that all of my details were exact. And every mistake that I had made in the first drawing, I was trying to minimize in the second one. So in the first drawing, I forgot to give the Shopkin, like, the whole thing was a pupil. There was no white to the eye. So in this drawing, I made sure that I gave the Shopkin pupils and eyes. And it was really fun to work on this one because I had a better understanding of how I wanted everything to look. I feel like this Shopkin turned out better than the previous ones. I mean, there's still some mistakes in this one, but they're not really that noticeable. And I tried to minimize how much I turned the canvas. There were certain parts where I did have to turn it just because my hand was cramping up doing things from this angle only. And I'm sorry, but comfort is more important to me. But I'm sure you understand. Hopefully it doesn't bother you too much. So the outlining probably takes up a decent amount of time, but I feel like the outlining on this one is much better than the previous one. I mean, it's still obviously not perfect, but I think it turned out well. Something interesting as I'm watching this, a lot of people don't know that I'm left-handed, and it's mostly people that I work with. I mean, I rarely have to like sit down and write stuff, but when I do write stuff, if someone happens to walk by or something, they almost do a double take because I'm writing with my left hand instead of my right hand. And I mean, my sister and I are the only left-handed people in our entire family, so it was always kind of in my head that left-handed people weren't as common as right-handed people. But when I was in school, like, there were plenty of left-handed people, so it kind of didn't become such a big deal. But now that, you know, like, I'm an adult and in the workforce, there's that separation again where the majority of people are right-handed, and there's, you know, little stragglers here and there of us little left-handed folk. So whenever people see that I write with my left hand, they're like, oh my god, that's so cool. heard a rumor, I mean, I guess it might be true, but that left-handed people are more artistic than right-handed people. And since I was artistic, my whole time growing up, I was like, okay, I'm artistic, I'm left-handed, awesome, like, this is fantastic. But I know plenty of right-handed people who are better at art than me, so I quickly dismissed that I guess you could call it a myth. But I don't know. People seem to be like really shocked when they see a left-handed person. And to me, it's not really a big deal. And to them, I guess that's not that much of a big deal either. It's just that initial reaction. They're just like, what? You're left-handed? I had no idea. When my aunt was growing up, she said that she used to be left-handed and the teachers would smack her hands every time they caught her writing with her left hand. So she actually had to train herself to become right-handed. And I'm biased towards the left side of my body. Like, everything on my left side I like more than my right side for some reason. So if I were forced to be right-handed, I think I would probably get depressed. Alright, so we're done with the outline, I think. Yeah, we're done with the outline. I'm just erasing these pencil marks. On the first Shopkin, I didn't do this step on camera because I didn't want the video to be extremely long, but this time I decided to include it, and it's honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. So on the first Shopkin, I made a thick outline, so on this one I'm making a thick outline too, but I wanted to make this outline much thicker because I feel like it stands out more. And I'm using the Prismacolor inking pens. They're just like the Micron ones. They're just a different brand. And honestly, I'm not sure which one would be better than the other. When I was in college, we used the Micron series. It's like a 6-pack. And this is also a 6-pack. But I honestly don't really tell a quality difference. I got the Prismacolor inking pens because I had previously had Prismacolor markers. And then once I got the copics, I started using the copics. I have my Prismacolor markers down here, but I never use them anymore because I try and use my copics. The Prismacolor markers are nice, don't get me wrong, but when you only have 24 colors and they don't really blend well, it's kind of difficult to, I don't know, get anything done. So now I am coloring the video, and I wanted to, obviously the Ice Cream Dream is a series of colors, but I really wanted to try my hand at blending some more. And I wanted to go over like the whole cone portion with this light pink. And I don't know if I said this yet or not, but if you want to know what colors I'm using, I will have all of those listed down in the description below. I didn't pay attention to like what I use for this and that exactly, but I did keep all of the markers I use separate from the rest of my collection. So for the cone, I use several different pinks, and I think it turned out really nicely. I mean, in comparison to other artists on YouTube, I don't think it's that great, but based on my experience with Copic markers, I feel like I'm getting better. But honestly, if you're watching this, please give me some sort of feedback on how you think it looks. Does it look good? Does it look bad? What do you think I need to improve on and change? Because, like, it's easy for me to look at what I'm doing, but I still think it's really great to get additional opinions. I wanted it to look like there was some sort of frontal reflection of light bouncing off of the cone. So I tried to shade in a way where it looked like that highlight was coming down the center. And once again, having the words in there makes it extremely difficult to do like a smooth sort of gradient like I could with the actual like body. But I mean, once again, I think it turned out pretty well. I keep going in with the same color because, I mean, from what I've heard, you kind of have to pack in the color and layer it. You can't just do like one layer and that's a-okay. So I go in with the same color and several colors until I'm satisfied. I think the eyes are super cute. I feel like maybe I should incorporate more thick outlines in the actual piece itself. Okay, so now I'm outlining I'm coloring the outline of the body, and it's weird. Like the feet have this like blood red maroon, almost brown color to them, and then the body's got this pink, and I swear my life that I checked every single pink and red that I own in Copic markers and could not find one that was the perfect shade that I needed for this outline. So I ended up trying to use two different colors to kind of mimic the shade I needed, and it still didn't turn out to be what it needed to be, but it was better than what it was. I had to modify the mouth a little bit. I really like how these eyes turn out. I think the way that I outlined the iris and the pupil, I feel like that definitely added character to the eyes. And part of me was wondering if maybe I should go in with a gel pen and like add little highlights in. But for right now, I haven't decided anything. So I outline the top of the ice cream with brown, and then the body of the ice cream has this brown and gold sort of gradient effect right to left. So I tried to mimic that effect, and this part I'm not fully pleased with. I mean, for what it was, I mean, it looks good, and I think, like, I'm looking at the finished product right now. On paper, it doesn't look that great, but on camera, I think it looks better than what it actually is. And I feel like the ice cream is simply just a technique. Maybe the application of color, the technique I use when putting the color down, and finding the right shades and blending with them. I feel like this was one of those challenges for me in this piece. I loved how the drawing looked. So after I started laying down these dark browns, I was mentally thinking in my head like, oh man, I screwed this up. I should have done like a test run or something first. But you know what? I like taking risks. I winged it. I wung it. I wing it. I was winging it, and this is how it turned out. And I think I achieved the effect I was going for of sort of that light to dark gradient. And it's definitely a lesson learned of experiments and stuff. So once again, I think just with practice and becoming more familiar with how these markers work and what combinations work and what don't, I feel like, you know, it's all part of the bigger picture, the bigger long-term process. So I have this egg chick to start working on. And when I initially made the sketch, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be so cute. But now that I've worked on these two Shopkins, I'm honestly not sure how it's going to turn out. Hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully it'll be better than these first two Shopkins. So, based on what you've seen so far, which Shopkin is your favorite? Do you like the Ice Cream Dream or do you like the Apple Blossom? Or do you hate both? I mean, it's totally fine if you hate both. So the sprinkles got kind of lost in this piece, and I think that's where a gel pen could maybe bring it back to life. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to watch the previous videos, you can do so here. And if you'd like to see the next video, you can click here when it's available. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kyrae Jenkins. You should totally subscribe to my channel and follow me on all of my social media. The information is down in the description below. And I can't wait to finally make some more art that's not Shopkins related. Don't get me wrong, I like the Shopkins, but I totally want to try something different. Alright guys, see you next time. Bye!